All right. So we are upgrading the Planning Center SDK. A lot of it's already been done. We just need to finish it out and then write some tests. Yes, we're going to use Copilot to kind of like get the test boilerplate done because I don't feel like writing all of it. But we can definitely use it for the tedious part so long as we verify everything is working the way we want it to. We're going to close all tabs. We're going to go to the event. And what are we missing? We'll quit. Alrighty. So, event attributes, and we have that. Let's just open up term to see what we still need to do. So I will know this based on the errors that I get. Like I have a general idea. CD, CLS, that helps if I analyze. So yeah, there's still some things that like just need to be done. Like creating certain classes and properties and all this fun stuff. Yeah, that whole class is gonna get deleted probably. Event instance, event ID. Okay, so let's go to event. Yeah, and it's trying to access event ID. Where is it doing that? Yes. Okay, so instances. I think, do we have relationships for event? developer.planning.center/docs. We'll put this here in the center. We're totally fine with that. Reference, calendar, event. Yep, relationships, and it's a basic relationship. Okay, so event instance relationship. So it's going to be event relationships. It's a basic relationship. The key is data. I think the key is data. Key is owner. I thought that was weird that it would be data, owner. Is that something we want to do? Yeah. It is. So event public event relationships, and then wait, no, if it's for owner, we need the instance ID if we're going to get a specific. Oh, wait, no. Duh. Shelly me. Attribute. No, that is relationships. Relationships. Event. Data. ID. What is this screaming at me for? Is uninitialized. That's right. It doesn't auto-create it. I don't like the fact that it doesn't auto-create it. Event relationships equals new event event instance relationship. Event instance relationships. We don't need it. It doesn't take any parameters. Event might be uninitialized. Because we do it in the make method and they all share the same constructor. If is set event instance relationships. We'll do it like this. If it's not set, event instance relationships equal new event instance relationships. Then it is for sure set. Okay, then we're going to return all. Okay. So then that allows us to get the instances because get event instance ID. Relational data, yeah, okay. Okay, so that allows that. And we're just going to keep going through this list. Analyze. To make sure that if we get all the errors, then we'll be able to see, you know, where are the gaps? Where do they exist? This Planning Center helper is going to be the death of me. It was a great idea at one point, not so much anymore. Helpers, Planning Center helper. Because we're starting to use PHP Genesis, this can just go away. That doesn't need to be there. JSON null. This whole directory can go bye-bye because that was what was thought to be maybe a good idea ended up being a disastrous nightmare. We just go down the list. Okay, that we deleted stuff that was supposed to be auto-loaded, and therefore it decided we don't like this. Poser dump. That was a little too fast for my comfort, but you know, this is an SDK, so it's not a full-on application, so I guess that would make sense. Yeah, it's still... We're just going to rebuild that directory. Cool. And now let's try it. We love that. Oh, you know what it might be? Yeah, that's what it is. That would do it, guys. Hey, require this file in. It's not there. Poser dump. There it is. Access to undefined property calendar tag groups attributes. Okay. Calendar tag group attribute. Yep. Okay. So now we need to create tag group attributes. So new class tag group attributes, and I'm going to move this over to this other screen just so I can look at both at the same time. Because efficiency, I guess. Tag group. Okay, so public string tag group ID. Public carbon created at public nullable string name public carbon updated at and public nullable bool required. And it has a relationships key. But it's empty in the docs. So I don't know if I actually need the thing or if it's okay to leave it out. If I need it, I'll add it. If I don't, we'll just leave it out. We'll see what happens. All right, so tag group. Okay, so public tag group attributes. Yeah. So we need to map. Okay, so private function map to from PCO. This, what did we say this was? I just like redid some of this last night. Mixed, yeah, we're just gonna do it as mixed because it can come in as a variety of different ways from the Genesis method. This is a void return, and the attribute map is going to be an array, and let's see, tag group attributes, split and move right. This is kind of an experimental thing. Tag group ID. That's just ID there. So like I haven't tested this yet, but in theory, it should work. And the reason we need this is because I do camel case. Planning Center does snake case, and I have opinions. They're strong opinions, loosely held. So this kind of sucks to do when it's like it's going to the same field name, but necessary evil. No, I don't really care that they do snake case. But updated at. I don't want to change my coding style to integrate with a third party when I control the SDK. If it was another SDK and that SDK used snake case, I wouldn't care as much. Required. But if I'm the one writing it, required. I'm going to write it the way that I want it to be. Attribute mapper from PCO, this attributes, attribute map, and then the date time attributes are created at, updated at. Is that supposed to be snake or camel? Forget what we're. Yeah, it's snake. So it's the external field name. No, external. Created at, updated at. Okay. Okay, so we just mapped that. Event instance. Do we have event instance attributes? We do. Here's what we're going to do here. Create the attribute map. Let's see what it does. It worked last night to do this really quickly, so. Yeah, that works. So then we can go to, that's the event instance attribute. So go back to the event instance. Boom, boom. What was that from? Boom, boom. Why do I feel like that was either psych or like the good, not the good place. What is it called? Parks and Rec. I feel like it's like one of those two shows. Like it's like Boom Boom. It's like Nutriboom. What was that show? Nutriboom. What was that from? Huh. It was Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Nice. Okay. Okay. Private function map from PCO. Mixed PCO. Void. Brackets. Attribute mapper from PCO. This attribute map. And created at ends at starts at nope no updated at, and then those are both strings published at, or published starts at and published ends at. I don't know why those are both strings, but they are. Okay. What else we got? See that number now gradually going down. All right. Event ID on line 54. Is that groups or is that calendar event? It is groups event. Okay. So collapse that. Groups event 54. And this should be attributes ID. Interesting. Public string event ID. Why did these should be nullable? Because only the primary key should be forced to be set. So that's the event ID. Go back here. Attributes. Event ID. Boom. There it is. So then event ID. Voila. I love the fact that I checked another one and it was snake case, and this is camel case. Hang on. I gotta do this real quick. Cool. So, I guess we'll find out. I mean, I could just go look at the code, but that would require me to actually think for more than a moment. Date time attributes. Attribute. So yeah, it looked okay. So it should be the actual class attribute. So those other ones need to be updated. Group enrollment, tag group. We'll go update here. Created at updated at. I thought it was weird that I would write it to where I needed to do the snake case thing when I so clearly like don't like snake case. Created at. I have no reason for not liking snake case other than like I used camel case first. Updated at. So that's literally it. Okay. I'm sure there's more places, but right now that doesn't matter. Okay. So that's the event ID. Group. Yeah, that also that needs to be changed. This can go. Authorization options doesn't exist anymore. Client ID. No, I don't want the client. I want the ID. And actually, I don't want that. What I want is this client, because we already like bootstrap all of that in a common place. This client, this, no, I don't want the client. I want the host name. Groups endpoint. So apparently I didn't fully migrate this little ever so lovely thing. This can get moved down here. Enrollment. Client ID. This client secret. Go to the group enrollment. Attributes, okay. If is set enrollment attributes. This not this. Enrollment attributes equals new group enrollment attributes. Ta-da! And then that is for sure there. Hosting endpoint. And then we got the group ID. Okay, cool. Access to undefined email ID. Yeah. So I went through and I removed all those things, but I didn't like remove all those things. Okay. Attributes. Email address ID. Yeah, that gets the email. Email for a person gets the person emails, okay? I don't know if I like that. Because you could do that. Whatever. Right now, we just want to get it to a workable state. And this map to PCO exists when there's a write, when you can write back to it. That's map from, and map to is just the request. And then if it's, not null, which in theory there should be no reason any of this is ever null, but it's possible. Okay. Right now we're just going through and clearing out these ever so lovely errors. Because then once that's done, we can write tests and to make sure that everything has been upgraded and is working the way that I want it to. Person ID. Attributes. Person ID. Attributes. Person ID. Attributes. Array or person ID. This. Analyze. Person merger. Do.id. Attributes. Person merger ID. Cool. And then has emails. Okay. Yeah. Sweet. Remove helper functions. Actually, we can just put that all into the same commit. All right. Calendar. Attribute updates. Groups. Attribute updates. People. These are all just attribute updates. And, well, yeah, we'll put the .idea stuff in there. Send it up to there. And then, let's see. We'll close all that. Okay, so let me think. New directory tests. Do I have pest in here already? I should. I do not. Okay. CLS composer require dev pest PHP pest. think we also need the Laravel plugin as well. Composer require dev pest PHP pest plugin Laravel? That sounds right. Pestphp.com. Yeah, pest plugin Laravel. The cool thing, though, is that the way this thing is written is that you don't need Laravel to use the SDK. Because of the HTTP client from PHP Genesis, if it's running in Laravel, it's just the Laravel Illuminate HTTP facade under the hood. If it's running in Laravel, it'll go hands off and say, hey, Laravel, you take care of booting this. I'll just use you. If it's not a Laravel application, it'll actually boot the HTTP facade itself and create what it needs to work outside of Laravel. So you could use it in any PHP application. Okay. This could probably go away. It's not necessarily directly needed anymore. Let me get rid of that. Like, it's probably like not going to delete it, like remove it from the composer lock, but it's not needed in the directly in the composer requirements. Yeah. Okay. So I've spent the most time put this over here because that is stuff I don't feel like shedding. Okay. So then how do we... I always forget the exact way to like set up. Okay. Pests init. I have already started, so I'm not going to do it again because I don't think you can. So now that that's all set up, I'm going to basically just copy over the base scenarios that I have from the other project. Delete those really quick. Feature can go away. It's going to be unit, and we'll delete that as well. I'm going to do these in directories because there are so many different like objects that could we put it in all in one file? Yes. Is that super maintainable and easy to come back to and understand? I'm gonna go with heck no. Maybe some people can do it, but I know my brain won't like it. So let's see, source, objects, people, it's a person. So person tests. New, no, I don't want a class, I just want a file. New file, person tests. And to get the boilerplate, I'm just going to have Copilot generate the pest PHP tests for this class. There's still some like mocking and faking that we're going to have to do. I don't want mockery though. Don't use mockery. Just generate the tests. I will be taking care of the mocking. myself. That's a good boilerplate. So, person tests, boom, boom. You don't need to create the client because because that doesn't exist. This is why we don't use Copilot for everything, because it gets a lot of things wrong. And I don't want to do that before each test, because there's a... That's the thing, is like, can't remember if this before each handles just I think I have to explicitly say that it goes with this group, but that's not a huge deal. So test people can create person. And these aren't like the exact scenarios that we want, but they're a great, getting started point. People can list all. And though we'd have it won't necessarily return all, because Planning Center won't give you the response of every single person in your Planning Center database. So it's like I think it defaults to like 25, and then you have to say, hey, I want to change the page size, and I think the maximum you can do is 100. So yes, it's all, but it's not all, if that makes sense. But let's just get this set up. People can get person by ID. Test people can update person profile. Test people can delete person profile. Okay. So now that we've got that, let's set up the mocking. So we want orchestra test case. So composer require dev orchestra test bench. We're requiring it in dev. We don't have a database that we need to set up. We don't have an admin user we need to set up. We don't have any of that we need to set up. We do want to enable package discovery. So we can go ahead and delete setup database. Okay. Yeah, no. And we can go ahead and delete a lot of the stuff. So this is actually like from a application that I'm writing for my church, which is where this SDK kind of came from. So we're like, let's actually like put this out there because this is going to be super useful for people. Okay, so we need to set up the client ID and the client secret. But we don't actually need. Okay, so let's see. Private private function setup mock mock planning center keys. How do I want to return this or set these? Do I want it to be a config value? Or do I want it to be... How do I want to do this? Because we need to... It has a Planning Center client. So let's see, what are we doing in the... traits? Has Planning Center client. Where, so it's being null. So if we publish a config, if it's an empty string now, if we publish a config, that would work for Laravel, which would work for testing, but that wouldn't necessarily give us how do we want to do this? And how are we? We don't even have a provider that we hook into this time to where we could load. Yeah, let's do a provider. Providers. New provider. Planning Center. I don't need to register in config app because that doesn't exist, guys. All right. New directory config. New file planning center. Return an array. And this is going to be authentication. Client ID equals env planning center authentication client ID, and the default is we're going to do an empty string. So then we need client secret, and again default it to be an empty string so that way we can, definitely have all this work. Okay, so now in the has Planning Center client, the problem is that if we get it from the config and it's not being used in a Laravel application, that's going to fail because I don't think I have set up config handling in PHP Genesis. So what does that look like? So that's the thing. It's like it gets tricky. There's got to be a better way. That's where the before each could come in. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe before each, that's the thing, is like unit directory help helpers. Test constants. Public const string planning client ID equals dummy client ID test client ID. Client secret test client secret. Okay. So we don't need this method then, because what we can do, we don't need to do it before each, but unit people person tests. We're not creating this person. Well, that doesn't need to get deleted. So we're going to do that in just a second. Okay. Person make test constants client ID test constants client secret. So then person equals so let's see, person attributes name equals John, no, attributes first name equals John, person attributes last name equals Smith. Those are the only two fields that Planning Center requires when creating a new person. So response equals person create. Okay, so then we expect the response to be instance of client response. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and set up the mocked replies. Private function setup. Setup people mock replies. Responses. Void. Okay, so this is now. So we want to go to people. What's the version of the? I think we're still using the 2023 version of the API. Support. Yeah, 2023 2.15. 2023. Oh, wow. There's been 2 releases since that, so there might be an update in the future. But for now, this is what we need. That works. And the API provides you a way to use a different version and still get the data you need without using the supported objects. Person. what does the reply look like? Like, I know what the reply looks like, but like, it would be great to see it. All right, I'll move this back over here. I may have to open the API Explorer, and because that has production data, that will not be appearing on stream. That window can close. Tests, test case, HTTP client, fake, function. How did I do this? It's in the Atlassian one, I know. We faked a lot of stuff there. All right, so it is a fake array callback. All right, move this over here so I can. Yeah. So that comes down to. Where did we set? So the host name. So the host name in that other SDK we set up is like a dummy one. So we will just set up a protected function, not function, const string host name equals. In fact, why don't we just do that? No, one. //api.planning.center.online.com. So that's the host name, just for easy reference. And let's take a look. What do we do here? Self host name. People, person, people endpoint. So when we're posting to that, that's not a comma, it is a HTTP client response. And that is going to be do I get the fake issue or do I get not the fake issue? That's the other one. Do I you know what I need to know? Sometimes you mean to specify that a single role should return a series of fake responses in a specific order. What I need is when I the difference between a post and a get. You may pass on a right URL that you're Any requests made to the URLs that have not been faked will actually be executed. Use for the response method to construct stub fake responses for these endpoints. Inspecting. When faking requests, you may additionally wish to inspect the requests in order to make sure you have sent the correct data or headers. You may accomplish this by calling the assert sent method after a fake. Okay. Receive it. It should return a Boolean value. See, I don't want to assert that something has been sent. What I want is if I am sending a post request, I want to fake the post request response to endpoint 1. But if I'm sending a GET request to endpoint 1, I need a different response. I may just have to create a method to like swap out the response based on the test. Like in the test say, this is the response that I'm expecting. That sucks. I don't like that. But that's what we've got right now. So we're going to do these in people mocks. PHP class, people mocks. We're going to turn that back on because I'm streaming a little bit longer than I was planning on. So I'll probably wrap this up here in just a moment. Just for 1 hour. Okay. Yeah, probably I'll wrap this up by 11:15. Okay, so people mocks. Public static function setup void, and hopefully somebody gets this reference. Julie, do the thing. But we will set that up here in just a moment. Okay, so public static function setup create person. And this is when we would like swap that out. So void. So let's go back over here. I'm gonna steal this. People mocks. Lovely. We'll just say, oh crap, because that wouldn't. What we can do. Oh, I'm a genius. I already did that thing. I saw that coming from a mile away. Okay. Use has Planning Center client. Would y'all look at that? Okay, so now it's an array of the response. So go to the API Explorer real quick, api.planningcenter.com or API Planning Center Online.com. API Explorer, people, people, Well, that doesn't help me. That just gives me the all response. Okay. That's the query by information, post, assignable attributes. I think when you're posting to the endpoint, it's just going to give you the person. So let's go ahead and private static function person created mock. This is going to return an array. It's a function, return array, and it's going to be this object here. So this is the object that we just need to create. Copy. And for that really simple conversion, convert this to an array. The fact that it's syntax highlighting it like that scares me. But we're going to copy it and make the adjustments that we need. So return type person ID 1. First name is John. Public not static const string first name equals John. Public const string last name equals Smith. We could do Gilderoy Lockhart, honestly. That'd be actually kind of funny. So we're gonna go change this from there. First name, last name is down here. Last name, and the name is just a combination of the first and last name. So self first name, need a space. Nope. Last name. And these the rest of this, we can modify as need be. Okay. So because we can do static person created mock. Oh, yeah. Self-created mock. Honestly, person profile because I could see us using this for a variety of different things. Person profile mock. person tests. Instance of client response. Let's try it. Let's just, I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it. Test case, class, or trait not found. We love it. Oh, you know what it probably is? It's this thing. Autoload dev. Test. Tests. Composer dump. Now let's try it. Well, there we go. So let's just try this one test. Tests, test case not found. We probably have to redump. Composer dump. A facade root has not been set. What? It's supposed to boot it myself. Okay. What did we do in the Atlassian one? We also built an Atlassian SDK using like the same thing. Oh. Duh. I forgot, for the tests, we actually do need to set that up. Okay, so Planning Center. Test case set up. Private function setup environment setup environment void. Setup environment. So how did we do this over here? We have to take the app into it. Oh. Get environment setup app. So that's actually something that comes from the parent, probably. Atlassian. We don't have to return anything? Good with that. All right. Now let's try that first test. Run. Must be protected. Oh, yeah. Because it's not my function. It's from Orchestra that we need to do it that way. Facade root has not been set. Set facade application. There no HTTP factory. That can go away. Why? What has changed? Like, this should work. Like, let's try this one of these tests. That worked. So what is different between these two? Like, yes, we have the providers, but like this should be auto discovering everything. Oh, you know what it could be? Let's take a look at the XUnit. No. Past. In unit. Test case. Okay, so then PHP Planning Center. Let's look at our past configuration. Use test case. Oh. It still says page builder from the other one. That's my bad. Null given. I'm not supposed to pass anything in, am I? No. Map to PCSO. So then person 64. Okay. Planning Center. Response. And let's DD this. Let's see what is coming back. Not DD. Response. Let's just, let's see what's going on. Run. That is a really nice way to get banned, Bloodied Water. Create process response. So it's okay. So it is expecting it to be an HTTP full-on response, and it's not. So let's see what DD HTTP. And run. Okay. So it's still sending. I'm going to laugh at myself because we created the mocks. I don't think we told it to use the mocks. And that would explain why it's returning unauthorized. Hey, go do this thing. So then we need to set up. Okay. So self setup create person. Okay, so we're using that. Now we'll find a better place to put this for now, but we'll find a better place to put this later, but for now, person mock people mocks setup. Actually, why don't we just put it there now? Setup. People mocks setup. And then, because it boots all of it, if we need a specific mock, we can tell that, we can say it in the test. So then people mocks setup create person. In fact, use create person. Namespace tests unit people. I guess it wanted that. Namespace tests unit people. So we don't need to import that. Import test constants. Nope. You not use namespace tests helpers. Gonna import class, and that can go away. Boom, bada, bing. Run. People mocks not found. We love that. Oh, you know what it is? Poser dump. Okay. Yes, that makes sense. Why is it not found? Tests unit people. Tests unit people. Class people mocks. Test unit people. Ooh. Oh. It's not found in a different place. That would do it. Run. Okay. Facade route has not been set. Maybe that ordering will help. And let's just do this only, because then I can do it like this. No tests found. Nice. Tests. Okay, so now we're getting back to like that. Run. Person tests line 16. Person traversable array. people mocks. Make host name, people endpoint, response profile mock. Why? Use create person. What did we do in the other one? Okay, so we set up all of these mockings. I don't think that would do it because it's the exact endpoint. But people, v2 people, star, okay. Let's try it. Run. Objective I perform. Traversable array, null given. DD HTTP. Let's see what's coming back. Run. Okay. Why is it null being given? Okay, so that's good. Person, okay. So let's go into process response. And let's just go down the list here. HTTP. And let's just, again, let's try it. Okay. Create process response. Okay, so now let's go into client response. And again, let's make sure response that we're still getting what we like all the way down. Run. Still good. Client response. Ta-da. Okay, so person process response mapped from PCO JSON data. DD HTTP, and let's get JSON. Let's just get the whole thing, see what it's doing. You dummy. I'm going to go back to the API Explorer because the answer was probably staring me right in the face. People. And let's say that, we created somebody. So in the mock, That's close. That's close to what we need. It needed to be... Okay. Need to add another layer here. And this needs to be data. All right, now let's try that. Create process. Actually, let's keep that there for just a second. I want to see it. All right, so now let's do this. Yeah, baby. Oh, that was silly. Cool. So now we've got that. We'll go ahead and commit all these quote unquote changes. Tests setup test foundation. Because in no world are any tests written. Like, yes, there's some test stuff written, but no. Alrighty, so providers, that can go away because we don't need that. Traits. Yep. Tests. Add constant to trait for testing. And that can also go away because that's not needed. People. Remove unused use. We're not going to be using that because we got rid of the provider. That can go away. And then dot idea. Push that up. And I think we are all set for today. I got some stuff I got to take care of. Family movie night tonight, so I got to go do like all of my errands. See y'all.